Powered by Small Caps. You are listening and watching the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. My name is James Peter Whelan. I don't know where. Wow. I'm joined here by Heath Moss of HLM Investments. Heath, how are you now?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. Felicity.
Beautiful middle name, right?
My middle name is actually Lawrence.
Is that L-A-U or L-A-W?
L-A-U. Yeah, it's
Lawrence.
after my granddad on my, both my grandfathers. On
Did he go
mum
by
and
a
dad's
Larry?
side. No. I'll just stick with Heath.
Both of your grandfathers were called Lawrence.
Yeah, Laurie and Lawrence.
I have a question for you, Heath. It's about South Australia. When you say both of my was it the same person?
No.
I mean,
no,
that
we do have enough segregation in our DNA and families here. It's fine.
My family tree is a circle.
Yes.
It's just a straight line. It's like
Oh God, what do they say? South Australians just proof that Tasmanians can swim or something like that. So it's like,
okay.
no offense to our Tasmanians out there. We were just having a joke. It's, you're going to be able to poke fun at yourself a little bit.
This beautiful country that we have, yeah. No.
Yes.
So tell me about Lawrence and Larry.
Yeah. Both. My father's side was Lawrence, and my mother's side is Laurie, which was short for Lawrence. I mean, I think on my mother's side he spelt it with a W, but not a U. So both have passed a long time ago. So, but yeah, that's where I got my middle name from. So yeah. Sorry, it's not Felicity, unfortunately.
Okay, that's good. Well, a little bit
yours?
More than I know about much.
Yours after your father, is it?
Yeah,
Peter.
Peter Whelan, who everyone knows and loves. He's been on, been around. He loves coming into the city and saying good to everyone. There was some absolutely cracking lunches with Colgo and Scuddy after we do this show. Dad would be in town. I remember that time. I do remember the time when we went to Meat and Wine Co. after a recording of the BIP show. No, it was a recording of the Business Insider podcast. And back when there was a Business Insider and back when there was a podcast, and Dad was waiting for us for lunch, and Joe Masters had been on the show, came down, and she has a certain air to her. Yeah, she's got a certain aura of very, and he just got a little bit flustered, I think. He was all right. The great man. She got straight through his defenses, right? I mean, it's all just all harmless sort of fun like that, but she's very engaging.
Yeah,
and, yeah,
fantastic.
He was very engaged.
Yeah. Well, it feels like it's a little bit of a letdown this week, considering we're over the internet again and not in the same room, sitting in your chairs across from your bed.
In our chairs, the matching chairs. That was a cracking time in Adelaide. Crappy weather.
It was.
I tell you what, I could use some of this weather right now over there last week. That would have been the way to go.
Yeah, we've had fantastic weather since the weekend. Although it cleared up on Saturday and Sunday, it was all right as well. So, but yeah, perfect weather now. We're going to hit like 27 on the weekend or something like that, and no rain, nothing. So back to normal weather. I will be in Sydney in early June, so we should be able to catch up and do another podcast then.
Yeah. Book a hotel room. Many chairs, multiple chairs. Sit wherever you like, and we'll do a podcast from in that regard. Okay, which is
exactly.
Yeah. So is by means of introduction, powered by Small Caps. As our focus is going to be about that now. Smallcaps.com.au. Go check out the website. We've got some amazing new things that are in there. The idea of this, I'm going to just sort of adding the bits and pieces that have made the news in that sort of area, made the news on the site, but also external to that and growing out this macro side of things and the macro theme too. So I'm going to be working with Ensemble to make this CPD accredited and with their amazing CPD check platform that they are really growing. And that's probably not something I wanted to discuss out loud. But anyway, look, it's out of the bag now. I am working with things on doing things. It's part of my job of making sure that the word is spread. Myself, head of distribution for Invest House, which includes Small Caps, and also head of wealth for the private wealth side of things, which we do, which is called Investor Pulse. So anything that I'm talking about that is advice. Anyway, okay. So, mate, it looks like the Nasdaq has gone up 11 days straight. Is it the best streak in 17 years? I'm just literally thinking I saw that on the internet. So it must be true.
Similar. Yeah, something similar like that. I mean, it's been a cracking the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's been basically vertical on the S&P and the Nasdaq since Iran and Trumpy got together and have decided to do the ceasefire and have started talking. We got news this morning of Israel and Lebanon have decided on a ceasefire as well.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they were shooting at each other much anyway. So that's really good news. It's just a bit of we're in no man's land at the moment, I suppose, with the whole Iran situation. No one's firing upon anyone, but US have that blockade on Hormuz. But I did read this morning that Iran had proposed that they would allow ships to go through on the Oman side.
Yep.
Free and safely. They wouldn't fire upon them. So I don't know whether that develops over the next few days. But Trump's saying that they won't need an extension to the ceasefire deal. They said they're very close to it, which would be next Tuesday, I believe. So yeah, things are looking pretty positive, and the markets have bounced on the back of that. I'll bring up my screen. Hang on a sec. Where are we?
I was going to yank a few things up too, just as we go.
All right, you go first, and I'll follow with the real stuff.
I mean, I'm going to get into talking about the fire at down in Geelong.
Oh, bloody!
But before
Patrick Dangerfield.
Paddy Dangerfield is on fire. He's got another 20 touches. Paddy D. Oh no, it was going through. Here it is. This is a big apparently that's going on here. But you did mention, and I'm going to do the share screen.
Oh yeah,
thing.
saw this. Yep.
What
in the group chat? The big list of what everything's happened. The coincidences.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to let you finish. Check this out. Okay, this is off the Twitter. Bang, coming at you. You did mention Israel and Lebanon. Mate, Lebanon has effectively been wiped off. Like, I don't want to say this.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this has been community noted, but southern Lebanon, towns in southern Lebanon have basically disappeared, according to... So you go to Apple Maps. Google has them. Apple Maps does not. The towns start getting named. Towns start getting named on the Israeli side. That's wild. Have a look at that.
That's weird. That is weird.
It's just eliminated now. Now everyone's saying, oh, it's Israel doing the thing and they're taking over and everything like that. It says the community note is saying, the community note is saying that Apple has had this trouble since 2019, and that Apple's official website confirms the turn-by-turn navigation and other core map features are unavailable in the country due to limited data. It's Lebanon. It's not. I don't know. It's not Antarctica. It's Lebanon, guys. Anyway, okay.
It could be a simple fact that the Hezbollah named those towns, or have taken control, and Apple just don't want to recognise it. I don't know. But Tim Cook. I don't know what connections he's got to Netanyahu or the Israelis. But
was he on the Epstein? Was he on the Epstein list?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't remember his name popping up.
So and this other one of just nice, hilarious little things. Helium. We're going to have an ongoing helium problem. We are going to have an ongoing helium problem. Maybe for the duration of our foreseeable future of lives. I want to actually say without being too dramatic. You know me. What is helium used for? Now this is an unreferenced graphic which I've pulled up on the screen. So helium is out because the major key refinery in I want to say Oman, Qatar, the other one. Yeah. See. I get them mixed up too.
Yep.
Anyway, g'day to all of our Omani and Qatari listeners out there as well, which is great. I do apologise for anything, but it was without looking at it, one of the main refineries that does all of the helium, which is used for everything, MRIs, all the way through to, what's it used for? 29% of helium is used for cryogenics, including MRIs. So if you want to get an image, a resonance scan, it's a 6-month wait in America now. 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's with their amazing health system. Anyway, that's, So welding, it's used 17% if helium is used for welding. Heat transfer, 14%, which would be, anyway. Party balloons,
8%.
Your nickname in
higher
school.
Than I expected.
Your nickname in school, 8%. Party balloons.
Yeah.
8% is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No party balloons at parties anymore, people. We've got to save our helium.
And you try and tell.
No sucking down on the balloons and making your voice change.
Yeah, and now what else we got here? I've got more stuff on private credit, but the second last one, here's fertilizer prices have risen 87% year to date to $720 a tonne. Holy Christmas crackers, that's a lot. And this one from 5 hours ago, Warren Pies, I love good stats out the wazoo, mate, as we go. Yesterday's all-time high occurred with only 2.4% of S&P 500 stocks making a 52-week high out of 792 days where the index made a new 52-week high since 1998, bringing it back, old school, last century. This is the fewest number of stocks participating. It is the thinnest rally since 1998, definitely forever.
Yeah, if you look at the Mag 7, they've all bounced quite heavily. I know Nvidia, Google, Amazon, Microsoft's had its best streak in some time. So yeah, it's been driven by the Mag 7, but I mean, we already knew that before this correction that it was highly concentrated. So those Mag 7 stocks, I think I had a theory that they'll become defensive plays moving forward, maybe because earnings keep on getting revised up for them. And yeah, we're in the middle of earnings season. We haven't had any of the big guys report yet. I think it starts next week, but it's expected to be, blowing it all out of the water. So yeah, but yeah, there's some good stats. All right, I'll share my screen. Give me 2 seconds.
Is it the small caps website? I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to be.
No.
Great.
It's what we always start on.
It's supposed
we
to be
always
help.
start
Yeah,
on
okay. Right.
I can change it in a sec.
No, you don't.
Yeah, look, we've got the S&P 500 there, and you can look that vertical since we bottom around the 6,300 mark on the S&P 500. New highs last night of around 7,040. Nasdaq very similar. I've still got that there. Get rid of that. But yeah, Nasdaq cracking new highs as well. That's the Nasdaq 100 index, I must say, not the composite. But the shares have rallied, and I tweeted this earlier in the week. I think stocks and the markets now are looking totally through this Iran conflict and seeing that maybe, both sides don't want to go back to shooting at each other. It'll be, if they don't get a ceasefire now, it'll probably be prolonged. The language coming from both sides is far less aggressive. And there seems to be some headway made from Iran. Like this morning I was hearing that they've agreed to hand over all their enriched uranium. So, whether that's true or not. Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, we don't know, but all that the US knows about. So, things are looking a lot better, and the markets are looking through that. And I think the markets will now start looking into macro data, and earnings. As I said, we're into the middle of the Q1 US earnings season right now. All the banks have reported, and they've all been extremely strong. And we'll get later. I think the big sector to watch for is obviously consumer discretionary, and seeing how increased gasoline prices, and perhaps some goods are starting to see increased prices already. I mean, we know Reece already here in Australia have put up their PVC piping costs, etc. So seeing how that's being passed on, or if it's affected demand, or etc. And Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, and even listening to Visa and MasterCard and their sort of commentary around transaction volumes, etc., will be integral to this reporting season. But if we do get a peace deal, I think the market will then dismiss basically any macro data in Q2 and maybe Q3 as a short-term blip, transitory. Powell's favorite word, transitory. So that's basically where we're at. And of course, the risks are still there. The risks is this all falls over. They start shooting each other again. The Iranians use the Houthis to block the Red Sea and block in another 12% of world oil supply. So they're the risks hanging over their head, but the market isn't giving them much credence at the moment. And I can understand why. Like I said, the language, mainly the language from both sides, has toned right down. It is much friendlier. It's much more civil. So, that's where we're at there. We've seen gold bounce a little bit off the back of this. Gold followed the markets. What was it? About 4,400 there. It's now 4,800, so almost a 10% bounce in itself. I like gold here. I think I said it last week, around the 5,000 to 5,100 mark is a short-term target for me on gold. And oil, where are we with that? Oil is off a little bit. It did gain a little bit last night, but since it's opened Asian trade this morning. It is down another 3%. And I think it continues to drift down as long as things continue to improve. I see it finding a floor around that $80 range simply because of, the time it will take to open the strait back up. A lot of the production facilities have been damaged and have to be repaired. There's just too much to happen in the short term or over the next few months for oil to get back to where it was in terms of supplies. We'll see in probably a deficit of oil for a little while, and that would be good for energy stock earnings moving forward as analysts start revising their assumed oil prices up for the sector,
and just going that more continually, and people being able to be okay with the fact that it's going to probably be above 80 or 94 for a very long time to come. You actually you update that as your base case, and suddenly it starts to switch around.
Exactly, because most analysts are saying around 65 to 70. So add say
numbers.
80 to
Rookie
90
numbers.
even.
Yeah,
saying it's going to be 80 to 90. That's a 20 to 30% lift in the base case there, and that's huge for margins. So they will do very well, and you'll have a lot of media come out saying we should need super taxes and stuff like that on the energy companies during these times. Have no doubt. Yeah. So and then we've got copper that has bounced as well.
I was about to talk about copper. Oh my goodness, would you look at that? What is that? 5 gone through 5?
No, 6 through 6.
6
back through 6. Yeah, because it got down to about $5.25 a pound there. It's now $6.04, $6.05 a pound. The Chinese numbers were better to start the week, the GDP numbers. So there was a little bit of hope there that they're going to have a better year than expected. And of course, the Iranian situation simmered down.
I reckon it's a little bit of both of those things cooling down. It's got to be about the sulfuric acid thing.
Yes,
I reckon the majority of copper's run is on the China halting exports of sulfuric acid soon. I don't think it's done yet, but they are talking. It's basically a factored in done deal.
Yes,
they will. That completely screws up all the leaching, most industrial metals. It screws all that up, and then it actually hinders silver output, which, depending on where you're looking and what you're reading, is anywhere between 30 and 70% of industrial silver production comes from the output of industrial metals refining. So,
yes,
if you can't refine copper, or if you can't do it the way that you want to do it, i.e., you can't leach it with the sulfuric acid, then you can't get silver. What's happened to the silver price there, Miladio?
Give me 2 seconds. I will find it.
Come on, man.
There it is.
I thought it'd be better than that. That's crap.
It's sort of recovering a little bit. It's I haven't drawn any lines, but it's broken that downward trend there.
Yeah.
It's not as as violent. The velocity of the recovery hasn't been as big for silver as it has been for gold, but it's still looking very constructive there. And like you said, if copper production comes off, it is a massive byproduct in copper, a lot of copper mines. So that's not going to help the situation there, which, I think it's 200 million ounces a year is in deficit of silver we are.
All right, brass tacks. Yeah. Let's go. Brass tacks. Let's talk about some of the smaller caps that are out there. Do you want me to? I can do it through the portal. How about you let me do it through the portal, because we have a small caps portal, which we are launching, which is pretty sexy.
I'll stop sharing.
So get your fingers
that
off
stop sharing button is really close to the hang up and the cool button.
It sure is, isn't it? It's like on the laptop. There are some versions of laptops that have got the on-off switch that's right next to the delete or backspace button. And that's roulette, man. Seriously.
I know. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to yank up this thing here, and here. Share. Congratulations. Here is the research report we did research, as I think that we're sort of soft launching this. This is the Critical Minerals Group research, but let's get out of that. Now, what are some stocks that you mentioned just then in your wrap? So I'm going to go to the watch list.
So look, in terms of gold stocks, I think we spoke about this last week, Talk Metals and Barton Gold. Obviously you guys
I think that you started, let's just relax, pay your income tax, because I'm going to go to BRK, Brookside Energy.
Brookside, yep.
Our good mate Robbo, it's in a watch list, but anyway, so I brought it up. There's the old Brookside Energy. That has managed to break through. Oh my goodness, would you believe? How do you do? 61 cents. I'm not going to lie to you, still a long way off where a lot of people got in going ways back.
Yes.
on that chart, which is great. But look, you don't go to small caps for the charting. You go to it for the news. You go to it for the research. So let's have a look at what they've got.
Yes.
They cracked open. Where's the news? The rig secured for the Swish area of interest. There was a time in my life when I didn't know that the AOI stood for area of interest, but they've secured a rig for that. That's the shame? But anyway, they secured a rig for the Swish area of interest, 2 well developments. So they've got a rig going on there. And that, I mean, Brookside has continued to shine well, and I think that it will continue to do so. I've got no problem with that at all. I'm going to click on this financials button here and see that they've got, revenue of 54 million, up 12% year on year. Net income, 2.7 million, it's down 3. So you've got your financials here. Profitability, I love this little chart thing going on here. Shows you your revenue, what comes out of the net income with the EBITDA. Interesting. Wonder why that doesn't chart properly. Okay, so that's Brookside.
Looking good. They moved. I will say that myself and clients got into this as of recently as earlier this week, around the 58 cent mark. They did get some research coverage from East. I think they're called East Coast Research or something like that.
East Coast Research did commence yesterday.
Yeah, valued them around $2.13. I think their target price is.
About right.
So obviously at 60 cents, there's obviously a major gap up there. So they got some people on the radar of some people, and that's why we saw the volume and the action yesterday, like we did. Obviously, being a shale oil / gas producer, they can get their wells down very, very quickly. So can respond in times like this where the oil price is high. And it'll only take them, 10 to 12 weeks to get, an oil well producing in known areas. It's not like they're drilling and they'll come up with a duster. They know these areas are going to produce. It's just a matter of how much it's going to produce. So,
yep.
Yeah,
no doubt at all.
And
David Prentice is a sharp operator as well. Knows his business, which is great too. And I love dealing with people who know what they're talking about. Next one, was it Barton Gold? We talked about them last week.
Yeah, Barton Gold. Yep. Yeah, looking good.
On that.
Very good. Very constructive again.
You all had your chance when I started talking about this thing a couple of weeks ago. You all had your chance. It's going back through $1 on its way. Let's check out what has come out news. They did have some news the other day. 16th, Barton Gold. Is that showing on here? Hang on, I'm going to go share this tab instead. Barton Gold completes the Challenger Pit optimization drilling for Stage 1 DFS and all reserve push. Stage 1 DFS.
The reserves up and the costs down by the looks of it is what they're aiming for.
Yep, so that's the Challenger Gold project. So it advances the DFS and its Stage 1 reset of the Central Gawler Mill. Added 1,322 metres of diamond drilling across 23 holes. So it just gets better. It's going to be a lower risk restart, as they say. Anyway, all of that is covered in on the small caps. So yeah, Barton Gold, good announcement. The other one that I had to talk about was a good friend of mine, Craig Lindsay, who's the US country head for Resolution Minerals.
Resolution Minerals, yeah.
Resolution Minerals I like because they've got a few things. I could trust the US guy, but they've got, look at those letters there. Can you see that? SB, W, AU, and AG.
Let's break it down. Tin, tungsten, gold, and silver.
Yep. So all of my favorite things. They've just appointed someone here, but they got some tungsten thing that was going on, and I'm trying to see where it's gone into here. The articles. Yeah, I spoke to them the other day. Antimony trioxide produced at Antimony Ridge. Antimony, so they've got the antimony, which is great, and I can't see. It's 41. They got fast 41 status, which
the White House for the critical mineral
to accelerate the critical US project. It had something to do, so that's Antimony Ridge. I thought there was something about tungsten, that they came out with some amazing tungsten stuff the other day. I'm trying to see what it is. Anyway, they will be speaking at my tungsten 26. I'm doing a big tungsten thing. That'll be on May the 14th. If you want to know any more about that, then please let me know. But they'll be speaking at that. I've got Critica is speaking at that as well. Sky Metals and Firestone to be IPO later on, I believe. So yeah, and a few other companies that are coming up in that as well. Any companies that you want to have a look at today, Heath?
No, we spoke. Talk Metals was the other one we spoke about last week. That's again moving up nicely in conjunction with the gold price. Again, I really like them simply because management behind them. The ex Spartan Gold guys. Yeah, like I said, these guys and Spartan Gold are my favorite sort of explorer / developers, gold developers to buy at the moment, and have been buying. So yeah, it's just more getting better. The story keeps on getting better. They'll put more drills down to expand that gold resource now, because obviously it's open at depth and across strike. So yeah, it's looking really good there. So yeah, it's good to have
Good take.
there's some of the specky area looking good again, because you look across a lot of metals. You look across tin, aluminium, tungsten, uranium, copper. They've all got reasons for movement to the upside in terms of these speckies and small caps. Simply because we're heading into an area where supply has been so constrained for so long, and there's no new supply coming online, and we're needing these minerals as the minerals of the future. And no doubt, because especially with tungsten is used a lot in defense and weaponry, etc. And with the US using a lot of missiles, etc. at the moment, they're going to need to restockpile. And tungsten's a big part of that. And China have almost come out with a law to ban tungsten exports as well. That hasn't passed yet, but it looks like in the next few months that they will halting tungsten exports, because they are short themselves. They don't have enough tungsten themselves. So that will be interesting. Itself.
So the Department of War stopping imports from China, and then China's just saying, well, we're going to stop exports as well. Tungsten is my best play for 26. Everyone who knows that. It's already, I believe, it's tripled in price since I started talking about it at the end of last year.
Quadrupled it. It's gone from about
$400
to $600 a ton to around $2,400 a ton. So it is, yeah, it's already moved, but it's got a scope for more movement, because I mean, whilst we need it and desperately need it, it is a small part of most things that we manufacture, including weapons. So for the price rise in tungsten doesn't have a huge impact on the overall price of those weapons, etc. So yeah,
Sky Metals is the last one. I've just got the research report up on that, which is going quite well. Caught up with them in Adelaide last week, and again yesterday or the day before, I caught up with Ollie from Sky. Some great news and some good things that are coming up for them too. So as I said, they'll be speaking at the Tungsten Conference on the 14th of May. All right, Heath, mate, on that note, I think that we're about done, unless there's anything else you want us to talk about.
No, footy? I'm all done. Yeah, it's been exciting week, and yeah, we've got another round of footy coming up. So yeah, wonder if Vossi will survive the weekend.
He may, by the time you're listening to this, he may already be fired. I'm off to the Swans and the GWS Giants game tonight. I'll be putting the red and whites on, which is good. I didn't think I was going to get to a game this year, but my oldies are in town, so they're taking us all out to the football, and I'm getting myself a good Chinese meal, a succulent Chinese meal at the Entertainment Quarter this evening, and we'll get after it. Heath, mate, as always, what's your pick of the round? What have you got going on? Who are the Crows?
Crows are going to say Kia ora, but given what's happened with Jordan Dawson's brother, unfortunately passing away, yeah, I'm not sure what to expect of that anymore. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. I haven't had a quick look. I haven't had a look at the round in full yet.
Well, anyway, I've got nothing to add to that either. Mate, tally ho. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us, as always, the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast, powered by Small Caps. Get onto the website and check out any of the things that you want to check out as well. So, Heath, on that note, see you later. Have yourself a great week.
See you later, everyone.